when next basketball season starts, are we going to be talking about Larry Brown coaching again?
You know, I'd like to. I'd like to be involved, you know, in some capacity somewhere. I really don't care. I look in the mirror, I see I'm 71, but inside I don't feel that way. If it happens, you know, I'd be thrilled. If it doesn't, I have so many people that are coaching on both levels that, you know, use me as a resource or allowed me to come watch practices and learn. As long as I'm connected, I'd love it. But I don't want to wish somebody loses a job so I can get one. But I'd love to be involved in the game. I never worked a day in my life, and I can't see myself not doing something to contribute in some way.
I saw the piece, and then a real nice two-page spread about you and your desire to potentially coach again in the Daily News over the weekend. I want to get your quick thought on something. I don't know how closely you followed it, but Mike Brown, who's in his first year coaching the Lakers, he benched Kobe Bryant in a big spot in a game the other day. Now last night he benches Andrew Bynum, and Bynum is often moping and all of that. Taking yourself out of the individual situation, but in a larger sense, when you're coaching in the NBA and you have major stars to deal with, and you certainly had that experience, can you give me a sense of what that's like when you have to do some discipline? You got to put a guy on the bench, and he's a guy like Kobe Bryant who's going to the Hall of Fame. What are the dynamics that come into a situation like that?
Well, you got 15 guys to deal with. You know, I think guys, you know, the great players, I guess, expect to be treated a little different. But guys with character understand you're a coach and there's a big picture. And I saw Kobe upset, but that's typical of any competitive guy. But at the end of the day, the great players are for the coach. You know, I always leave this in the locker room. You know, talent's a gift and character's a choice. And when your best players have talent and character, you're going to win. And you look at Kobe's track record. At the end of the day, he's been for the coach. He's had unbelievable success. When he gets upset, it's because he's such a competitor. I used to have that every time I took Allen out of a game. You know, Allen Iverson. I'm thinking about writing a book, and I coached Allen 600 games. I took him out at the end of the first quarter, so I could give him a long rest, put him in the second quarter. Took him out at the end of the third quarter, put him in right after the beginning of the fourth quarter. He MF'd me every time I took him out of the bench, and I was going to write a book. I've been MF'd 1,200 times. That was going to be my title. but he cared, and I think the players used to watch how the head coach is going to treat the star. And if he's consistent and honest with them, you got a great opportunity to have a great team. And I think most of these stars understand that.